Hi, I'm Greta from Chicopee Fresh. Thanks for joining me in my kitchen for another episode of our Harvest of the Month cooking series. This month we're celebrating dairy and we're going to make one of my favorite easy recipes, butter. All we need for this recipe are two things, heavy cream and a mason jar with a lid. And if you want to get a little crazy, which we're going to do today, you can add some more flavors. So today we're going to make a garlic herb butter. Yum. Our first step is to pour the cream into the jar. About halfway will do. We're going to put the lid on tightly. Then the fun part, we shake it. This is the part where we get to sing, and I apologize in advance for my singing voice, but bear with me. So here we go. We're gonna make some butter, rich and creamy too, with milk from a cow's udder. Before you can say moo, here's the chorus. Shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it if you can. Shake it like a milkshake and pass it to a friend. So if you are making this with other people in your household, you can pass the butter jar around. And you can even have multiple jars of butter going at one time, which is really fun. The next verse, pour some cream into a jar, get a friend or two, make sure the lid's on tightly, that's all you have to do. And shake it, shake it, shake it, shake it if you can. Shake it like a milkshake and pass it to a friend. Next verse. We're learning while we're churning. Hey, this is lots of fun. It's easy to make butter. Let's eat it when we're done. So shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it if you can. Shake it like a milkshake and pass it to a friend. Oh, listen very carefully. It's sounding different now. Hooray, it's finally butter. Be sure to thank the cow. So shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it if you can. Shake it like a milkshake and pass it to a friend. All right, that is all of the singing I will subject you to. But if you subscribe to our Harvest of the Month newsletter, you will find the complete lyrics and you can sing it and get it stuck in your head yourself. But in the meantime, I'm gonna keep shaking this butter. We wanna shake, 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 shake it really hard. It's gonna go through a couple of phases. First, it's gonna thicken up and become whipped cream. So if you wanted a nice fresh whipped cream, you could use that. But if we want butter, so we're gonna keep shaking it, all right, even after it becomes the whipped cream. So we're gonna hear it sloshing around. Then when it becomes the whipped cream, we're not gonna hear it anymore. And then we're gonna start to hear it again as it separates out from the buttermilk and the butter. So our end result will be a clump of butter at the bottom of the jar with buttermilk that we're gonna have to pour off. But you could save that buttermilk to use in pancakes or whatever else you wanted to use it for. So here we go. I'm going to speed it up while I keep shaking it, and I'll show you each stage along the way. Remember while you're shaking to be careful, especially if you're using a glass jar. You want to make sure your lid is on really tight and be careful while you're passing it. This is a great opportunity to put on your favorite music and dance and get some exercise and move around the house while you are shaking. This is an easy recipe, but it does require some time and a little bit of force with your shaking. So I've shaken it enough where you can't really hear it sloshing around anymore. So we're at the whipped cream stage. So as you can see, it's nice and thick and fluffy in there. If you wanted to, you could sweeten that and serve it fresh on top of a dessert. But we want butter, so we're gonna keep on shaking. And I'm getting pretty tired at this point. It's definitely a little bit easier if you have more people in your household to pass it around and share the workload. Okay, I got really hot shaking, so I had to take my sweatshirt off. But you can see that there's now some space in the jar, and the whipped cream is starting to compact and turn into butter. It's exciting. I'm gonna continue my dance party while I shake it, and I will come back when we have our butter, and I'm gonna show you how we're gonna separate it and flavor it. Okay, now we can really hear it sloshing again, and it looks really liquidy. So you can also, I don't know if you can see, but there's a big glob of butter now in the middle of our jar. So I'm gonna keep shaking it, and then I'm going to strain it into this bowl. And we're gonna be left with the butter, and the buttermilk is gonna go into the bowl. Okay, now we are ready to strain our butter. So I took the lid off and you can see that we have our butter and buttermilk. We're gonna pour it into this strainer. The buttermilk is gonna go into the bowl and our butter will end up in the strainer. So we wanna keep squeezing the butter and make sure that we get all of the buttermilk out of there. See how it's still coming off the butter? So we want to squeeze our butter till it's as solid as we can get it. And then I'm going to transfer it to a bowl and add some garlic and herbs. Once we have our bowl of butter, we are going to season it with some Italian seasoning, salt, which already does have some seasoning in it, and then some freshly minced garlic. So first I'm going to grab just a pinch of salt. You don't want to go too crazy because it's going to have lots of other flavor from the garlic and the herbs. We are going to add just a couple dashes of Italian seasoning, and then I'm going to do a big pinch of garlic because I love garlic. So you can season to taste, and there's also lots of other possibilities. I wanted to go savory here, but you could go sweet. You could add cinnamon sugar to your butter. You could keep it simple with salt. You could make it spicy. You could add some paprika. There's really so many possibilities with this. It's really up to you. And this is delicious. It's nice and soft and perfectly spreadable. So if you have a fresh loaf of bread that you want to enjoy with some herb butter, this is your stuff. So I'm going to just taste it and see if I need to add more of anything. I think I could use a little more salt and some more garlic. I'm just gonna do a little more of everything. And it will, with something like the garlic, it will develop more flavor over time, so you can stick it in the fridge, and it should keep fresh for, I would say, at least a week or more. You could probably also freeze it if you wanted to. So there you have it, fresh homemade garlic herb butter. I hope you enjoyed this recipe, had as much fun dancing around your house as I did, and I will see you next month where we are going to be celebrating potatoes.